Hi everyone, Shane Stevenson, Director of Museum Collections and Curator here at the Buffalo Naval Park. 2 weeks ago, on the 3rd of June, we did a video honoring the commissioning of CLG-4. 2 weeks later, 17th of June, we are honoring the commissioning of CL92, USS Little Rock in her Cleveland-class configuration. So what I'd like to do is, right behind me is a plaque from the Cramp Shipbuilding Company. I'd like to highlight that. The USS Little Rock, number 535, built by the Cramp Shipbuilding Company, Philadelphia, 1945. So there wasn't much standardization, all right? This number would mean that that's the number, just literally, sequentially, the number of the ship that has been built, right? So it's the 535th ship built by the Cramp Shipbuilding Company. Again, they started in about the 1820s. There wasn't really standardization, so I don't believe the numbers are fully sequential like that, like you see. And so it might even just be the 400th constructed or 450th constructed. Some of the records that you can find online show that maybe for the first 50 or 60 ships, they didn't even number them. And then when standardization happened, maybe in the 1860s, then they started numbering them, but not even starting at number 1. I think they started number 80, I think, if I'm remembering that right. All right, so Cramp closed around 1927 due to the interwar period, the shrinking of naval contracts. Many of the shipyards that were open during World War I closed. But then it was brought back on an emergency basis for World War II, and then it was shuttered again in 46, I believe 46, 47. So the room we were in was created and paid for by the USS Little Rock Association, so the old salts that were on board, to talk about the history of their ship. What they did have was two really nice models commissioned. Of course, here's CLG-4. But if you take a look behind, that's where we're going to head. Cleveland class, turret 61, 62, 63, 64. The two SE-1 Seahawks built by the Curtiss Wright Company here in Buffalo, New York. There's about 600 of those that were constructed as recon planes. Right, you see the catapults and the crane that would lift them back out of the water. Doing an overhead, right, you'll see all of the associated secondary batteries protecting the superstructure. Right, you see the 6 twin 5-inch mounts and the associated Bofors and Oerlikons. When I'm with people showing this model, I like to show that there's Mount 51, and in today's configuration, because of the growth of the superstructure, it's in this similar spot, but they just converted turret 62's barbette to house the 5-inch twin. So, and now this is where the superstructure ends on CLG-4. Right, as you might be able to see right there. So they kept turret 61, they removed turret 62 but kept the barbette, placed the twin on top, and on the second deck they've actually removed the barbette itself, but then it does continue through the third deck, first platform, second platform, down to the handling room. All right, I also brought some artifacts out of our archive. So this was Crampways, which was the magazine of the shipyard. This is from August of 45. The USS Little Rock is on the cover and in her shakedown cruise at this time. And they also did a short little article showing some of the images of the interior of the ship in her original configuration. Now, I did a video way back that I went to the different spaces. I think it's called Then and Now. All right, I've learned a lot since then. So if you check that out, you know, I tried to follow along. The coolest thing here is they actually give the deck it's on and the frame numbers. And then for convenience, they list the frame numbers here. So these were my there is my notes for that video of identifying where things were on the ship based on this article. One of the cool things here they say is to meet the new type of attack found in the Pacific area, particularly the numerous suicide bomber onslaughts, many changes have been made to the anti-aircraft operations. Replacement of most of the 20mm pieces by ones of 40mm caliber, necessitating the related changes in structure, was one major alteration made in USS Little Rock. So this is an invaluable piece of history that we have in our archives. We also have the commissioning program in the booklet from June 17th, 1945. So you see the keel was laid the 6th of March, 43. Ship was launched 27 August, 44. Commissioned today in 1945. Here's the events associated with it and the ship's officers as they were the commissioning officers. The first thing they did was they went to South America. So this is also in our archives here. USS Little Rock CL92 rounding Cape Horn. Ooh, and the wind blows. And here's the ports and when they arrived.
So they did launch those planes like that. How did you get it out there in the first place?
Now, on November 5th, so 5 days before they hit Rio de Janeiro, was their crossing the line ceremony for the shellbacks and polywogs. So we also have a crossing the line ceremonial booklet on the 5th of November 1945. And also in our collection we have the expiring crew for the fiscal year 1948. So you can see some of the names here, their rates. In 4 years and 1 week later, the ship was taken out and put in reserve on the 24th of June, 1949, where she sat until 1957. And then from 1957 to 1960, she was being converted at the New York Shipbuilding Corporation in Camden, New Jersey, to live her second life for 17 years as CLG-4. So we like to honor the Cleveland class configuration and the crew as we know it, who served aboard those 4 years and 1 week visiting South America, and then they also did an Atlantic tour and then 2 tours in the Mediterranean as a Cleveland class cruiser. Alright, if you've liked this video, 78th anniversary today for CL92, and we like to tell that story. If you have questions, comments, please leave them below. Subscribe, ring the bell, all that stuff. And, we'll see you again soon.